And Brooke meets a man who's found out about credit card fraud the hard way when a Sky TV customer service rep tried to rip him off for thousands.
2009, thanks. Most of us give out our credit card details over the phone all the time when we're buying products, pizzas, even donations. But what's to stop the person at the other end of the phone from ripping you off? Not a lot. The latest crime and safety survey shows that half of all internet users fear credit card fraud just as much as they fear being burgled or hit by a drunk driver. But what can you do when you give your credit card details in good faith to a reputable company and then someone in that company helps themselves to your money? Well, not much, it seems, if the experience of the Kaiser family is anything to go by. They were originally from the US of A, but now they live in sunny Nelson. They rely on their Sky satellite service for their daily dose of news from the States.
Probably was the biggest draw for me was to get the ESPN and the Fox News and all that to keep up with America situation. So right away you got to have it. So I went right on down to get it.
And it was Kent's lucky day. Sky said it would be installed for free, so he called the 0800 number and spoke to Shane Wood, a Sky Television customer service rep. He gave his credit card details over the phone.
Lo and behold, a few days later I got Sky TV hooked up and it's rolling.
But when the Kaisers got their credit card statement for December on January the 12th, 2007, Kent's wife Debbie was surprised at the amount of the Sky bill, the last bill on the statement.
She says, hey, we got a bill here for $600 from Sky TV. I said, $600? I said, hey, that guy told me it was going to be free to put this in.
So Kent got on the phone to Sky and it was confirmed the installation was free, but they told him something else.
They looked into it and they says, no, Mr. Kaiser, they said, that's a bill. You called up and wanted to pay for a year of Sky TV. I said, no, that's not me.
Kent runs hunting tours in New Zealand and abroad for well-heeled Americans and other overseas clients. The credit card he used to subscribe to Sky was very rarely used in New Zealand. So Kent knew the only person he'd given his credit card details to was Shane Wood, the Sky Television customer services rep who'd signed him up over the phone. Kent tried to get some answers from Sky. He wanted to know who'd claimed to be him and used his details to pay for a year's subscription.
I said, you know, you really need to tell me where this come from. It's my credit card. I'm digging and investigating. Got to report this to my credit card to get everything done and situated. They basically wouldn't tell me nothing.
Kent was told it was because that information was protected under the Privacy Act, and Sky couldn't tell him who had done it. And this is ridiculous. It was Kent's credit card, his account, his customer details, and his money. In fact, Sky may have breached the Privacy Act. Check it out. Personal information must not be disclosed unless the agency reasonably believes that the disclosure is to the individual concerned. In this case, that's Kent. It got worse though. Kent got on the computer to check his credit card account on the same day, 12th of January 2007. There were more bills from other companies, all based in Auckland, hundreds of kilometres away from his Nelson home.
Right after that, we had a $1,200 bill for Sky TV again. And then we had a bill with Woolworths for, if I'm going to remember right, American money was about $500. Then we had another hit on the credit card for a bill from a Parallel Import for a cell phone for probably about $400 US. And then we had another hit on there for $1,082 back to Woolworths. That I thank God I caught that just in time as they were shooting it out the door.
In just 11 days, someone had racked up almost $5,000 worth of purchases using Kent's credit card details. Sky wouldn't tell him who was ripping him off, but Woolworths did after all. It was his personal information being used without his permission. Kent was adamant the details had been leaked by the Sky representative. He had first spoken with Shane Wood.
Gut instinct, it's this guy from Sky TV. He took my credit card bills, and there was no doubt about it.
Kent cancelled his credit card straight away, armed with the name and location of the person using his details. He rang Sky and spoke to the customer services team leader. But Sky told Kent they had investigated and phoned the person using his credit card details. Then they told Kent what the mystery person had said.
This lady told us that she was your lover, And she was doing this because she was mad at you and was going to get back at your wife. And she even said that she said she didn't have permission.
So even though a mystery woman admitted to using Kent's details without his permission, Sky still didn't think it was fraud, rather that Kent was having an affair and they didn't want to know about it.
I told him at one point, hey, I've never been to Auckland. I says, I've never even talked to this lady. I says, how in the world can this be? I says, here, let me go ahead and shoot you an email of my license with a photocopy on there. You call the lady back and see if she can explain what I look like. They didn't want no part of that.
Later on Target, Kent gets tough with Sky Television, and I ask them what they're doing to protect their customers from dishonest staff.
And in our hidden camera trial of cleaners, this man not only helps himself to money, he invades our actors' privacy again and again.
A taste of Europe weekend escape is on your doorstep. Enjoy the Alpine Springs at Hanmer, visit French Akaroa, stroll in the Garden City and have a great evening. For special offers, visit christchurchnz.com.
Thought a nut bar couldn't get any tastier? Try new Cadbury Brunch Bar Nut. Roasted peanuts blended with Rice Crisps and real fruit. Plus, it's the only nut bar dipped in Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate.
They've got the whole world in their hands.
And they dump all their trash on their land.
They bury everything in a giant hole on their sheep farm. There's nothing I wouldn't put in the dump hole.
Wasted. Next on 3.
Kent Kaiser had used his credit card to pay for a Sky Television subscription, but a thief had got his credit card details and set out on an 11-day shopping spree. The bill totaled over 5,000 New Zealand dollars. A mystery woman unknown to Kent had admitted using the credit card details without permission when investigated by Sky. But she said she was Kent's mistress and that she was taking his money to destroy his marriage. An explanation acceptable to Sky, but not to Kent or his wife. Nuts! Kent had never heard of the woman, and he'd certainly never given her permission to use his credit card. Sky did refund the two bills for $1,198 and $600 and gave Kent a month's free subscription. But it didn't change the fact that they had a crook working there, according to Kent. After all, he'd told Sky on the 16th of January that their customer service rep, Shane Worth, was the only person he'd given the credit card details to. Within days, Kent took the next step and went to the local police. After all, they may take a criminal matter like fraud a little more seriously than Sky did.
We submitted this up to Auckland, where the lady was that used my credit card in the Papakura. And now it's in Officer Lisa Gwynn's hands. I get a hold of her. She says, well, we got good news. This guy has turned out to be a bigger criminal, than you thought of.
It turns out Kent's suspicions were correct. It was a man. In fact, it was Shane Worth, the very same man who took Kent's details in the beginning. The woman that Sky contacted, she was probably an accomplice, and she hasn't been found. Thanks to the efforts of Kent and the police, the fraudster pleaded guilty to a number of charges. He was sentenced on the 1st of Feb to 6 years in jail and will then be deported to Australia. There's still no sign of the mystery woman Sky had contacted. Shame on you, Sky Television. Kent told you that a rogue employee was ripping customers off. Shame on you for accusing him of adultery, and shame on you for not protecting his credit card details. Kent did eventually get a letter from Sky Television in January of this year apologising for the way they handled the situation.
We understand that the way we handled your earlier reports of concern was upsetting to you and your wife. We are very sorry about this and apologise to you and your wife.
And after a lot of paperwork with his credit card company, they covered his other losses. We tried to talk to Sky to get some answers for Kent. We wanted answers to questions like, what's to stop other dishonest customer service representatives from ripping people off? They gave us a written statement.
We did not want to get involved in what seemed at the time to be a personal matter, the extramarital affair story.
And further,
we are in the process of implementing a fully automated credit card system and have adopted a more robust employee selection process.
So what can you do to protect yourself against credit card fraud when you give out your details? Well, after ringing around the banks and credit card companies, the answer is universal. It's up to you, the cardholder. It's your responsibility to decide who you give your details to. And as we've seen tonight, you may regret it.